Like, well, you don't look like a lumberjack. Like, what does that look like?
I want to get to the highest level of competition that I can in this sport.
It's very exciting, and the competition is just becoming harder and harder.
I just always want to do anything that the guys were doing.
People find it absolutely empowering.
We're not big burly men with beards or what have you. We're all sizes and shapes.
I kind of feed off of the noise, the excitement, the adrenaline. When we first started the women's steel series, yeah, it was all 40 of us out at one qualifier at once, and that's a lot of energy, a lot of ability to kind of play off of each other.
A lot of detail goes into this. It's not just brawn.
I love competitions.
I like the challenges, so I like that we're getting more events. The more I go to competitions, and there's people that I've never met before in my life there that say, hey, we've been watching you for years and we cheer you on. Like, that really ends up being one of the big things that pulls me along in wanting to compete, is seeing the crowd there.
Timber sports actually defines me. It's an identity.
Welcome, 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 everyone. We are ready to go. STIHL Timbersports United States Women's Championship 2022. And let's bring him out, the one who's going to lead us all the way through it. Known the world over as one of the greatest choppers and sawyers of all time. A true living legend. Let's hear it for Super Dave Jewett.
Oh, this gets more fun every year. What a journey it's been. I was just sitting back there waiting for Tommy to announce me, and I was just thinking, what a journey it's been. The quarterfinal rounds, the semifinal rounds. Let's get right to it today, Little Rock. This is the finals of the men and the women. Give them all a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Timber sports started in the United States about 33 to 35 years ago. It's been a while. I started 25 years ago. It's how I picked up the nickname Super Dave with my single bucking ability. Luckily, it's grown to 27 countries strong, which is why it is being broadcast today around the world, live streamed. It is going to be filmed for CBS Sports to be aired at a later date. The men and the women are coming out with chopping events and sawing events, but fortunately I have a little help with the broadcast. A couple gentlemen that I've been involved with since the start. The golden voice of Tommy Sanders, been here 33 years, and crosscut world record holder, ex-Timber Sports athlete Kevin Holtz. Boys?
Oh, thank you so much, Super Dave. We appreciate it. And Kevin, this is when we lean on you. I mean, always, when we have this group of competitors out here, we are so impressed with the athleticism, the competitive drive. But this is when we ask you to point us toward the competitors who are likely to score the most points today. What have you got for us?
Well, I'd put all the names into a hat, shake it up, stick your hand in, and draw one out. But we have an amazing group of talented athletes here today, and there are a good number of them who are in position and have the skill set and have the equipment and have the mindset to win this championship. Of course, everybody's looking at Martha King. Her record speaks for itself, but there are a bunch of competitors who are also out here just nipping at her heels, ready to get back out here and try to take her down. I got to be looking towards Erin Lavoie. We're looking at Lindsay Down. We're looking at all sorts of folks who are ready to take down Martha King, and they can do it. And there's going to be a lot of tough races out here today.
Some great storylines working all day long through this competition. Pick your favorite, and maybe to help, Dave could actually introduce the players to us, Dave.
Absolutely. Tommy, thanks for bringing up what I forgot. This is the women's finals we're going to kick it off with. Men are coming up at 6 o'clock, so let's bring them out. Coming all the way from Honeoye Falls, New York. Big round of applause, Hannah Quigley. And from Cowlsville, New York, give it up for Alex Miller. And from Ellensburg, Washington, big round of applause for first time in the finals, Jessica Carricker. From Lewisburg, West Virginia, Amber Auld. Her first year in the finals from Victor, New York, Samantha Graves. two-time and returning champion from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, Martha King. We're gonna hold off on Martha King. I didn't get that memo, but hey, we got a better story for you. She took the year off. Last year, she's come back with a vengeance with a leading time in the single buck from Round Lake, Illinois, Lindsay Down. And from Heppner, Oregon, Kate Page. And from Pulaski, New York, Emily Brown. Ex-Timber Sports overall champion from Spokane, Washington, Aaron Lavoie. From Branchport, New York, give it up for Julie Miller. Representing the Midwest from Hayward, Wisconsin, Kate Witkowski.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber.
I know that there are a lot of hungry athletes who want the #1 spot, but I've got to keep things in perspective. I love this sport. It's a passion of mine. Yes, it's also a career of mine. People ask me that a lot. What does it feel like to be a champion? You just won, how do you feel? When you step back and look at it, look at the time that it takes and the dedication and all the sacrifice that it has taken to get me to this point. I'm definitely a very competitive person. I have a strong desire to win. I want to beat somebody when they are at their best. There is no way I'm going to stoop low to try to make them mess up, by getting in their head. So yes, I suppose I am very sweet, but I also have an inner beast mode, but it's, I think, one that is more respectful. So I'd say that I'm a combination of sweet and deadly.
She's gonna be looking to dry this though. She's going near, wow, I was gonna say near, middle, far, but it was near and done for Martha King.
I'm definitely hungry. I'm definitely working hard for this championship, and I want to bring it home again.
Oh, you know who you're about to see, our two-time champion, returning defending champion all the way from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, Martha King. There you go. There are 12 finalists for the women's professional division. It's going to be crazy today. 3 chopping events, 2 sawing events. Give them all a big round of applause. Please, let's take a moment and rise if you are able for the playing of our national anthem. let's take a quick look at our competition format.
The STIHL Timbersports women's competition, all athletes will compete in 4 disciplines. The maximum points awarded for each discipline result from the number of participating athletes. The first discipline is the stock saw. The fastest athlete will receive points equal to the total number of athletes competing, down to 1 point for the last place in each discipline. The second event is the standing block chop. Points remain the same, awarded based on times, and as with all events, any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. As the third discipline, every competitor will need to show their skill in the single butt. And in the underhand chop, it's the athlete's last chance to claim valuable points. The points from all disciplines are accumulated, and the athlete with the highest point total wins the competition.
There'll be 4 events today, 2 chopping events, 2 sawing events. The first sawing event of the day is the STIHL stock saw.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
Well, you want to know what this looks like? A quality run here from our current reigning champion, Martha King. We're going to roll it for you here in slow motion. You can already see she is up to the block, very clean on entry into the wood. You can see a nice, thin, consistent disc as she travels down through that log, puts less side pressure on the rivets and the side plates of the chain. 1 disc on the deck. Good, clean transition, no bobbles, straight back into the wood, and a great run back up through the block. What you've got to keep in mind is you hear our athletes operate these saws, you should hear a nice, clean, consistent RPM range from these motors. But if you look at that log, they're cutting an inconsistent amount of wood from the top to the bottom. The log is increasing in diameter, decreasing once again back to the bottom.
Thanks, Kevin Shaw. That was the world record cut of Martha King. Let's bring out our first heat, though. On stand number 1, Hannah Quigley versus Alex Miller. These competitors will get 15 seconds to warm up their saws. 2 clean discs is the goal here, within 4 inches of wood.
Couple of New York athletes squaring off here, Dave. Both of them have good experience at this particular discipline.
One of the changes in the past few years, Tommy, is they're increasing, or I should say decreasing, time limit for preparation for the competitors to get out here. You see Alex Miller actually jogging out on the stage so she could get her footing set, so she could make marks on the wood, so she could take every opportunity to be prepared. Last year's discussion about getting the athletes introduced to the stage at the same time, so that one athlete didn't have a head start on the preparation.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1. Go!
Quigley versus Miller, both exceptional operators, both quick to the wood, very synchronized switches at the bottom, and no wasted time. What a way to start the 2022 championship. We are just separating these 2 women by hundredths of a second.
Unbelievable. 2 great efforts as well. That is what generally qualifies as a competitive time here in the stock saw, for sure.
Yeah, you see 11 and change on that board in the opening heat. Amazing. Great run right out of the gate. They know it too. Look at both of them, big smiles and fist bumps.
They arrived here ready to go, obviously, and what a great start to this competition.
All right, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Alex, as if stock saw isn't nerve-wracking enough, they give it to you right out of the gates. You're in the first heat. Why? Let's be honest, you DQ'd in the quarterfinal round. What have you fixed between the quarterfinal round and the finals again today?
I just told myself I can do it because it was an uncharacteristic DQ for me, and you know, I just, I guess, mentally prepared myself and pumped myself up, and I'm happy.
I can't wait till later in the show. I got to know it now. You got some fans in the crowd?
Oh yeah, we got some Miller Time fans.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, we're just waiting on the official time right now. We are shooting at 120 frames per second, down to a thousandth
look at this
of a
instant
second to
replay
find the
up
time.
on the screen right now. Both competitors down through very thin first cuts, especially over on Alex Miller's stand number 2. Again, both clean through the top. Wow. Of all the races we've had this entire weekend, we've had some close ones. That's got to be the closest. We're going to have to slow that one way down, and I know our head judge, Rich Hallen, has already looked at that under a magnifying lens.
Well, there you go, your official times there. Hannah Quigley gets this one by 5/100ths of a second. Well, now officially, yes, 11:26 is her official time. And for Alex Miller, a personal best in a time of 11.47.
Oh, what a time laid down. And, you know, we did the professionals yesterday, the professional men, we did the rookie division. These times are incredibly fast. They're consistent with the men's division. And here's our replay again.
Here's another look at that instant replay. We'll go back and watch this. We'll slow it right down here at the end, hopefully, so we can see if we can pick a winner from this. I mean, official times are in, but yeah, wow, just by fractions. Amazing. What a great run from both competitors in that first heat.
Second heat of the stock saw Jessica Carricker and Amber Auld.
Jessica Carricker from our Western qualifier. Came from that one, from Ellensburg, Washington. This is her 4th year competing. And a 4th generation lumberjack performer. Going up against Amber Auld, Lewisburg, West Virginia. 2nd place in the Mid-Atlantic qualifier.
Warm up your saws.
Athletes ready? Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Trouble over on stand number 1. We're going to see how this sorts out in the end, but chain breaks, all kinds of problems. Amber Auld, though, not waiting around on stand number 2. More trouble on stand number 1 with a cutout at the bottom. I think we're seeing some nerves. First time on the Timber Sports stage. The lights, the noise, it can really eat away at you.
6 was the time to beat. Unofficially 11:47. They're going to review that time. But what a cut by Auld. A slight mishap from Jessica on stand number 1 on the start. We'll see the replay here.
Okay, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Everybody, whether it's the rookie division, the men's division, the women's division, they all say the nerves build up and the stock's up. But you really have to have not just physical toughness, but mental toughness, especially when you're chasing an 11-2-6.
Yeah, the nerves are really, that first event being stock saw is a brutal start, and so like I am super jittery, but I've been practicing like when the stand to your timber goes, just doing the same breath pattern every time, and a big exhale to shake off the nerves right before you pick up the saw, and
just muscle memory and pick it back up and put it back in the same spot every time.
All right, we're waiting for your time. Good luck. Thank you. Big round of applause for that last heat. It is so close to time to just bottom it.
Here's another look at stand number 2. That's Amber Alden, that run. What a great, clean run. She is right there with heat number 1 in terms of time. Very, again, thin, straight cut, cool, calm, collected. Whatever breathing strategy she has going on, it's working. Stand number 1, though, there was trouble all across the board, and most of it was here on the switch. You can see on the switch, she comes up, gets a little bit crossways, saw is not in that block, has to come back and reshoot. The trouble I thought was going to be, because this is now a complete disc, the trouble I thought she was going to have was actually cutting over the line. She cut the side of the line. You can't see it in this shot. She cut the side of the line, but did not completely sever that purple crayon mark going around the block.
Jessica Carricker's time of 15.25, and look at Amber Ald, her official time now, 11.38. That means our top 3 in the stock saw so far are within 12/100ths of a second.
And we see this, Tommy, we've talked about this multiple times. We're working towards that perfect cut. We're working towards that moment when everything just falls into place. We're seeing it in the men's division, the women's division, all over the place. Pool B yesterday, I think it was the entire field, all 8 competitors were all within 0.93 of 1 second. From first place to worst place, they were all within 1 second of each other.
Well, this is what they call in some other motorsports a spec race. I mean, all the equipment is identically level. It's flat. It's all about the operator and all on the skills of the athlete. A real test, and man, oh man, are they getting good at it.
Heat 3 of stocks. I'll give it up for Samantha Graves and our record holder, Martha King. Graves on your left, King on stand number 2 on the right. Still chasing 11.26 from heat number 1, Hannah Quigley.
Martha King from Chad's Ford, PA, our United States champion 2019 and 2021. Samantha Graves, second in the Northeast qualifier. Samantha from Victor, New York.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Martha King just staring that saw down, head around the edge of the block, ready to go. Again, very great cut. Look at, we're just one right after another. Sam Graves, though, a very thick second cut. I think she's all right. I think there's a crayon line all the way around there, but that was a very thick second cut for Samantha Graves. Once again, both of these times in that 11-second range. Martha King, though, if that time holds, that should be our new leader.
So much pressure.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Well, we've done so many interviews. Just go ahead, tell me what's on your mind. Tell me, how do you chase 11.26? Unofficially, you're right around 11 seconds.
That feels awesome. There's always so much stress going into the stock saw because the slightest thing can mess you up. I'm just grateful that I was able to be calm and steady and make 2 good cuts, and grateful for all the training from Mike Esch. And yeah, I've got a really wonderful group of people around me supporting me, so that makes all the difference.
Being the 2-time champion, the record holder in the stock saw, how do you calm your nerves? How do you erase the pressure and just attack the day?
Words have so much power. What you take in, what you listen to, who you're around. I like to read a lot of scripture before I get up here. Just puts my mind in a great place. I know God's plans for me are good, and I just settle into that.
Thanks, Martha.
Thank you, Dave.
Let's look at this run here. There's Martha King. She was on stand number 2 on the right side of the stage. She is our record holder, and she put on another clinic here today. You saw her slow motion in the preview. There it is, full speed. Great run as she pulls that saw through the top of the block. One of the things I'm always watching is the discharge of the saw. Look there right by her left knee. You can see just there's no room left to fit any more chips out of that clutch housing on that beautiful 661 chainsaw. And you'll also see a couple of times there those chip loads started to pulse a little bit. What we found is when you see those start to pulse and there's some pauses in that chip discharge, that means you're about to have a stuff up. I mean, she was right at the maximum capacity for this saw the whole way through that cut.
Well, look at the official time for Martha King, 11.01. It feels silly to say this, under 0.2 of a second, and that's what passes for separation from the field a little bit in this insanely competitive stock saw competition.
Heat number 4, the stock saw. She's back, Lindsey Dawn and Kate Page.
Lindsey Dawn from Round Lake, Illinois, part of a lumberjack competing family. The famous Dennis Dawn, it's her dad. Kate Page from Hettner, Oregon, the firefighter. Taking a little time out to come here and overachieve in timber sports.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
You can see that deep cleansing breath from Lindsey Dawn on stand number 1. Kate Page, a little bit of moving her back foot around. I don't usually like to see that, but she must have felt like she was in the wrong position. Lindsey Dawn is going to run away with this one. 11.83, Kate Page showing 11.97.
The critics, the timber sports world is on its feet right now, and what we have just witnessed, Lindsey Dawn with 2 complete discs, sub 12 seconds, her fastest stock saw time ever.
Okay, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Yeah, Lindsey, hey, let's face it, let's be honest. You're going to be on stage. You know, your talent is going to be scrutinized, but so are your bad talents. You've had rough time in the stock saw. You came off second after the first disc. You reeled in Kate Page on that upcut. Your fastest stock saw time ever. What's going through your head?
Well, this is the first time in STIHL history that I've actually not DQ'd, so this is a big moment for me. Thank you. Actually, what's going through my mind is just breathe, make 2 cuts, the rest will fall into place.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Thanks.
Now, this discipline has plagued Lindsey. I was kind of making a reference to that in the beginning. You just see her take that deep breath. First cut came off beautiful. Second cut, she got a bit wide on, but still plenty of real estate. You see a little head nod there at the end as she looks over at the unofficial time. Once again, here it is in slow motion. Just massive amounts of chip discharge. She's getting everything she can out of that saw. Great, clean switch and tons of progress through the block on the second cut back to the top.
There's Lindsey Dawn listed at 11.59 right there to put her in 6th place and take this heat of the stock saw. And we just get word that Martha King's 11.01, our leading stock saw time, is a new national record. So here we go. Things are starting to roll here in this women's championship.
Second to last heat in the stock. So let's bring them out from Pulaski, New York, Emily Brown and Erin Lavoie. East Coast, West Coast showdown. Lavoie on your right, Timber Sports Women's Champion, looking for her second title.
Emily DeYoung-Brown from Pulaski, New York. She was 4th place last year in this U.S. Women's Championship, going against the former U.S. Women's Champion in 2018, Spokane, Washington's Erin Lavoie.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Felt like Erin Lavoie was way up over that log, but then like right at the last minute, she kind of lowered herself into a competition stance. Not sure if that's intentional, that's part of her game plan. Very thick cut for Lavoie, very fast second cut for Lavoie.
Lavoie doing what she needs. Chasing down King, grabbing every seal.
Tommy, we're stacking up these 11-second runs. We had one competitor, Jessica, had a rough go in her particular run, but you know that was nerves. That'll get shaken off. The rest of that field, though, 9 competitors right now are all again in that 11-second range. Reminds me a lot of Pool B action from yesterday, the men's division.
Okay, both cuts are good.
And Lavoie, I had to turn my mic away here. Lavoie was blank, blank, blankety blank. That first cut was thick.
Yeah, it was a bit thick. It had me scared. I had to slow down on the switch a little bit. Right here on the stage with only 12 women and 4 events, you got to play it a little bit safe. You don't go into it that way, but sometimes you do. And I just wanted to make a cut more than I wanted to make a fast cut.
Thanks, Erin.
Yep, thanks, Dave.
We'll go back and have another look at that run, and there it is, that very thin cut on stand number 1, very thick cut on stand number 2. Sometimes you feel the stage shake when those big ones hit the deck. Kept it thin, got them both in there. Ideally, 2 nice, consistent thickness cuts, but Erin recognized that there was trouble. Again, there's a lot of movement going on, maybe getting a little out of place in that first position, but very thin on that second cut as well.
There, now it's official. Erin Lavoie's time official 11.25, which stands her in 3rd place right now for Emily DeYoung-Brown, 11.54. She is in 7th place. And I have to add that Caitlin Page didn't get her official time in the last heat. Hers was 11.88, so she is in 9th place.
Finally, the women's stock saw. Big round of applause for Julie Miller and Kate Witkowski. Kate Witkowski won the stock saw in her semifinal round in the Midwest region. And if anyone could take down that 11.01 of King, keep a close eye on Witkowski on stand 2. Julie Miller so strong as well. This will be a very fast final race.
Kate Witkowski, the silver medal here in these U.S. Women's Championships 2017. She's on stand number 2. Julie Miller from Branch Point, New York. 7th in 2018 at the championship.
Two very accomplished stock saw operators chasing a new national record from Martha King. They just got to put that out, though. They've got to run their race. I'm curious how this plays up on some of the mental efforts out there. Julie Miller very quick to the block. Kate Witkowski, though, reeling her in. With Miller still ahead at the change. Trouble for Miller. That's all it takes, that little bobble.
Comes from behind, the late arrival in the final
Got the feeling may have been seeing some folks that were racing Martha King, racing that 11:01, trying to get a little bit too much out of those saws.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Kate, you won the stock saw in the Midwest qualifier, earned you another position here, Little Rock, Arkansas in the finals. Tell us about this first event of the day. How the nerves?
Yeah, the first event is always the toughest. The nerves are always going pretty hard. So it's just most important to stay calm in this event and not try to rush it. That's what I try to do.
Did you ever think when the women's series started that you would have this flood of women cutting in the 11-second range, national records falling so soon?
Yes, I was pretty confident. We just started stock saw, 4 years ago. Our first year was pretty rough with stock saw, but in a short couple years, we were really right in it with the men, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave.
We'll go back and have another look at the run. Here's Julie Miller first. That first cut looks great. Very consistent, perpendicular across the grain. And then you can see the nose of the bar starts to shove back a little bit into that block. She does a great job pulling that cut off at the top, but it just pulled the RPMs down, got you out of that optimal operation range. And that's all it took just to pull her down to that 12-second mark. Here's Kate Witkowski on stand number 2. Again, very clean, consistent run. Bit of a tabletop here, a bit of a slab coming off on the second one, but still a great run for Kate Witkowski.
There you go, Kate Witkowski's official time, 11.57, has her in 8th place. And Julie Miller, well, her official time took her back below 12 seconds to 11.88. But right at the top, look at the new national record, 11.01, winning the stock saw, Martha King. Man, oh man. And we had Jessica Carricker with some unforeseen difficulties in her heat, but everyone else in between 11 and 12 seconds. That is just phenomenal. Well, we got plenty more on the way. We'll get the axes out for our next discipline coming up. It's the standing block chop when we return.
Let's roll. Let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Big league performance in your backyard with battery power made by STIHL. Our AK home motor system starts at just $199.99. Not sold at Lowe's or 1,000.
The name you love and trust is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power from gas to battery. STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way, to take the trail untrodden, to take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Here we go, the first of 2 chopping events, and they call it the standing block. Check it out.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
All right, we got some good competition coming up in the standing block chop. Again, 6 heats coming up and featuring bouts between Samantha Graves and Martha King, Jessica Carricker and Alex Miller, Kate Page and Amber All, Hannah Quigley, Kate Wiskowski, Lindsey Dawn, Aaron Lavoie, and Dave, get us ready for heat number 1.
Heat number 1 of the standing block. Let's bring them out. Emily Brown and Julie Miller. Brown on the left. Each competitor bringing a spare axe out. This is totally legal. We've seen competitors that decided they didn't like the axe they were using, or if they hit the stand or a knot or something to take that razor edge off, they are allowed to discharge that axe and pick up a spare.
All right, Emily DeYoung Brown. New York, Pulaski, New York competitor.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Versus Julie Miller.
Yeah, the two of them have been going head-to-head for many years now, both competing in the New York region and the New York State Lumberjacks Association. Both very strong standing block cutters. The standing block discipline has not been part of the women's division for too long, and it's great to watch these women pick this sport up. Brown has a great cut going on. Very neat-looking front face, very clean. If anything, my only critique of Brown is hang in there a little bit longer, another round. There's a great chip there just begging to be cut. Julie Miller bailing on the front side of her block. She is an exceptionally powerful chopper. She is not pleased with her stock saw run in that last heat that we saw, so she is going to be trying to grab as many steel points as she can in this standing block chop. There it is, Brown off. Miller's got just a few more hits.
Lost the slope a little bit, making a slight adjustment, big steel points on the line right here. Keep one.
Miller looking for those fibers, got to keep that angle slicing through those fibers instead of just hitting there. Far side is holding it. There it is. Julie Miller off as well.
Unofficially, right around 45 seconds of Emily Brown, our second year with women cutting the standing line.
Good job. Both cuts are good.
Emily, there was a lot of chatter going on that the wood was going to be firm today. Everyone thinks white pine is just soft wood. It's not, and you really had to work hard to get that log off.
Yeah, I agree. It was firm. So even my near wood was a little firmer than I expected on the front, and I really had to work hard to cut that. So.
And you have to choose the right axe. Each axe is $650 to $700. How do you choose which axe to use today?
Whichever one's the most free, that's the one I pick.
Keep the speed up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
Well, here we have them side by side. I always say I like to see a small pile of big chips, and Emily was creating that. Look at the slabs of wood falling out of the front side of that block. When she turned and got clear of that, you could see there was just a beautiful scarf there, plenty of fresh air to drive into. You can see there, though, she came up, she stopped a little bit short of that center line. Good cuttable wood left there. I get it if it's going poorly and you got to bail, you're pinched out, but you never know. If you got a good face run in there and there's still cuttable wood, one more round isn't going to hurt. There you can see on the backside, things did get a little out of hand for her. You see some step cuts, and she's pinched out to a very tight V there. That doesn't give her a lot of room to drive in and blow through to the fresh air on the other side.
Well, official time for Emily DeYoung Brown, 45.24 for Julie Miller, 103.48.
Second heat of the standing block, Aaron Lavoie. Laid down by Emily Brown. See Lindsey Dawn just chalking up that handle, gives that top hand the ability to slide, less friction.
Lindsey Dawn fresh off her best stock saw effort here in these women's championships. And Aaron Lavoie currently in third place in overall points, steel points.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both of these competitors look very calm, cool, collected, stepping out, big smiles. Aaron Lavoie, very good looking cut here. Very nice, even, consistent lines, great slope, very efficient. Not putting up a blistering pace, but you don't need to have that axe speed if the hits are going in the right place. That 45-second run was a world record pace from Emily DeYoung, but it looks like we're gonna see a new one here in just a moment. There's one in the guts, one to the far side.
What a cut by Aaron Lavoie, 31 seconds roughly. Let's keep it going for Lindsey Dawn though. Such a difficult chopping event.
Year number 2 for the standing block here in our women's division, and times are just melting away.
This is her first year cutting the standing block. Let's keep her going, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Holt says it's just an art taking these logs off. You have to spread the axe out. It is a disassembly process. And it looks like she's got the bar almost done. That log is shaking. At 1 minute 15, she's going to get steel points. It's moving. Again, these competitors letting the momentum of the axe do the work. That log just separating. Some separation. Such a difficult event.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Aaron says, do I have to stay here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be talking about standing block world record times. I'm hoping the boys are looking that up right now. You turned right around 11 seconds. You've been struggling with the standing block. What happened between 21 and 22?
A lot of practice. You know, you got to go home and work on the courage more than anything. I think if you don't have confidence at this or anything in life, really, you kind of suck. So at least have some fake confidence at anything you do. At this one, I went home and I worked real hard on how can I be confident, especially on that first down hit, that opening hit. How can I find that confidence? And I found it, and now it's just the most damn fun thing in the world is just to lay into it. I like that.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of questions on stage about world records. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, so the numbers are just dropping away. Emily Brown set a record in the first heat there with her 45-second time, and then Aaron Lavoie came out and swept that off the stage. 31:85, the new standing world record. And we might see that fall another time or 5 as we work down through here. Aaron Lavoie putting the hits in the right place. When we work with beginning choppers, I love to get them to treat this like a hard hit competition. The fewest number of strokes, the fewest number of blows into this block is going to win. Speed will come, but you've got to be accurate first.
Martha King held the record at 33.024. Big round of applause, the new world record, 31.85.
Well, there you go. New national record with Martha King, her first discipline. And now, as you say, Kevin, new to the rota here, so things are falling fast here. Emily DeYoung Brown, Official time of 45:24. That was the world record. 31:85 puts Aaron on top in the standing block chop. Lindsay down. Her time of 1:28:48.
The girls out back, they're halfway out here. We better get them out now. Let's bring them out. Hannah Quigley and Kate Witkowski. Hannah was anxious to get on stage. I'll tell you why. She is one of the best standing block cutters in the world. Her second year in timber sports. Her first year last year, made it to the finals, took 7th overall.
Kate Witkowski, the outdoor educator from Wisconsin. #1 qualifier. From the Midwest Regional. Hannah Quigley, 3rd in the Northeast.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, obviously a record weighing on both of their minds, but they've got to cut their block. Kate Witkowski stepping up, losing position of that axe on a couple of blows. Things are getting a little bit out of hand. She's got to reel it back in, get a nice clean front face in. Quigley around to the backside, nice clean front face on that log, spanning the axe far near, going after those corners. Look at how Quigley gets that axe back and away from her, locks those hands together, draws it into the block. Great power, great penetration, great placement. Just got to span those hits a little bit. That one got high and away. That one didn't do much either. She's got to reel it back in. Kate Witkowski is going to pass her in the end. A few errant blows on the top side of the back part of that log was the kiss of death for Hannah Quigley. Left the window open for Kate Witkowski to pass her.
Terrific race in just a second, unofficially separating those two efforts.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
As if standing block isn't difficult enough, you have Aaron Lavoie coming out breaking the world record. Then you've just got to back it up, grab those steel points. Tell us what's going through your mind.
Yeah, it's hard to not pay attention to a cut like that right before your heat, but that's what you got to try to do. And I know Hannah's a tough standing block competitor, so give me a little fire in that heat. Wasn't as clean as I would have liked, but I've been working on driving more wood, and that's what I went for at the end.
Good job, Kate.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, all eyes, at least my eyes, were down at stand #1. I thought Hannah Quigley was run away from this, but the backside of the block, specifically the top of the backside of the block, got away from her. She was way high up into that face. You just heard there Kate Witkowski talking about trying to drive more wood. It's exactly what she did. The hits on the backside of that log were in the right location, broke off a good amount of wood, and that was what it took to get ahead of Quigley.
Kate Witkowski now official, 38.45 for her standing block, and Hannah Quigley right behind at 39.32. They stand in 2nd and 3rd.
Fourth heat of the standing block. Kate Page and Amber Auld. Another East Coast, West Coast showdown. Kate Page, the wildland firefighter, coming all the way from Oregon.
Amber Auld, 2nd place in the Mid-Atlantic qualifier. Ready to take her turn at the standing block. Really don't know what to expect. These performances are just off the charts here. And Kate Page taking the time off and fighting the fires out west.
Stand to your timber.
Come out here and chop and some.
3, 2, 1, go!
Well, it is hard to know what to expect. I mean, this is year number 2 for the standing block. Standing block happens in some competition for the women around the country, but not all competitions. It's becoming more and more prevalent, and as it does so, we'll see our competitors become more and more proficient. Both of these competitors, though, doing an exceptional job getting this block apart. The axes are a little different. The placement is a little different. We'll see some of the stepping go away. We'll see the spanning getting better, and we'll see fewer and fewer hits and faster times. Oh, I did not like that sound on stand number 1. Kate Page, I think, made some contact with the metal of the stand. Saw her look at the axe there just for a minute. Amber Auld working. She's got to get that near wood broke. She's going to the far. She keeps going to the far. We got to get back to that near side. One of the guts is going to do it. There's Kate Page. She takes the near side.
This'll do it.
Just a fiber on the very far side. You hear me talk about the importance of the sequence, the finishing sequence. What's your exit strategy to get out of these blocks?
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Kate Page you gotta see this thing. Get that thing out. This is one of the largest axes we've seen up here in the women's division. Tell us about it.
Well, it was a really nice axe until I put it in the stand. So this is new to me, and this was my first or second time racing with it. It's a great axe, but I'm really uncomfortable with my downswings, and nerves got me on the backside, and I tried speeding up, and I moved my head in and in the stand.
All right, thanks for your time, Kate Page. Kate Page, her axe getting its daily dose of iron there, unfortunately.
Let's go back and have a look at this here. There's the first 2 up blows. They kind of got staggered in there. First one came down, and you can just see the flinch, the wince on her face as that axe came glancing down in. It could be a bit of nerves. She was talking about moving her head around, and that pulls the swing off. You can also have too much grip on that axe, and it'll actually twist the handle by squeezing down so hard on it. Let's go back here, and we'll take another look. This was stand number 2 at Amber Auld. There you can see she's driving over on the far side, but the near side isn't severed yet, so the block doesn't have the opportunity to twist away from her. One in the guts, though, sends it to the stage.
Amber Auld in her official time of 49.20 has her in 5th, and in 6th it's going to be Kate Page with a 58.05.
Heat 5, Jessica Carricker and Alex Miller. Well, the Vegas odds would say keep an eye on Miller. Miller on the right. The standing block ability propelled her into the finals. And one of the most accurate standing block cutters in the business.
Jessica Carricker trying to bounce back from an unfortunate go of it in the stock saw. His competitor from Washington State going up against Alex Miller from Alden. Alex Miller from Alden, New York.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Miller, a very smart standing block cutter. It's going to look a lot like the cut, I'm guessing, from Aaron Lavoie. You're not going to see blistering swing speed, but you're going to see that axe go in the right spots, and you're going to see productivity out of every hit of that axe. She's doing a great job sticking around to the front side of that log, working her way deep into that block, gets around to the backside. She's done the job very well. Both of these competitors are turning about the same time. I like what I see on stand number 2 in terms of presentation of that axe. Coming up around her head, coming down from around her head, coming up from around her knees and shin. Miller is going to make maybe one more round of chips. Also looking down there to stand number 1, though. We're seeing some wobble. There it is, stand number 1, Jessica Carricker coming back to win the heat.
Few more hits from Alex Miller. Very tough blow, just being stubborn. One hit on the far one, but that's going to do it. And there it goes for Miller.
All right, Alex, with a quick start there, looks so good, so really on form.
Okay, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Fourth generation lumberjack athlete from the West Coast. You made several trips to the East Coast to compete this year to prepare yourself for this Timber Sports Finals. And you said standing block is my favorite event, but you only started training. You picked up an axe last September. Tell us about this evolution to become such a good chopper.
It was kind of a joke as far as owning a lumberjack show. I should probably start competing. Never really did it before. Been around it my entire life. And, you know, just kind of sawdust runs in the veins, and it just kind of took off from there, and it's been a blast. It's been a wild 10 months, and I'm glad to be here.
Going to see you in Timber Sports next year?
Absolutely.
All right, big round of applause.
We'll go back and take a look here. There in the background, you can see Miller was around a few blows ahead of Jessica, but once she got into the backside of this log, she opens up a big back face on this log. Hits going very straight in, or fairly straight in, but still getting a lot of job done. Chases these corners. There you see she goes after that bottom near, top near, one in the guts just to kind of pick up a little more timber. Carried that wall of wood all the way in. They gave her plenty of material to drive off at the end.
Jessica Carricker, an official time of 52.47. She's in 6th place. And Alex Miller, a time of 1:08.14 for 9th place.
Here we go. Get ready for this heat. Final heat of standing block. Samantha Graves and Martha King. Now, Martha King, the former record holder at 33.02.4. King won the standing block in 2021 right here in Little Rock, looking to repeat that feat.
Samantha Graves on stand number 1 from Victor, New York. 2nd place in the Northeast qualifier. Our defending champion from 2021, Martha King. Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania on stand number 2, already with 1 win on her card today in the stock saw.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A lot of discussion going on about Martha King coming into this year to defend her championship. Off to a little bit of a rowdy start, not shifting a lot of timber. There it clears out, and now we're into some cuttable wood. You see some slabs falling out. Great placement of the axe. The near hits, this is going to sound elementary, but the near hits are near, the far hits are far. They're going where they need to go. She pauses a little bit there with a chip hanging up. Samantha Graves, though, is not waiting around for our reigning champ. She is well into the backside of the block with a very clean chop of her own. Nice scarps going into the front side. Maybe a little bit of cuttable wood, but she decided to get out of there. She's going to have a great bit of airspace to drive off into. Martha King working her way into the skinny part. Near, far, Martha King drives off.
So much just happened right there, and there goes Graves. So much happening, so much points being shook up, so many
Okay, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Samantha, I know you dabbled in timber sports 4 years ago. You took some time off. You went to Paul Smith College. You were on the Woodsman's team. You're back in timber sports. You're loving it. You're competing well. Standing block, one of your best. What's it like to be back on the big stage?
This is actually my first year on the big stage, so it's great. I'm having a good time. Just trying to do my best right now.
So many wood chopping events around the world, but tell us the atmosphere on the big stage in the finals. It's different than other tournaments.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more intense. You don't have as much of a community feeling, but all the ladies that are here today are great. Having a really good time competing with them.
2 events to go. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go back and have a look at these two cuts side by side. Look in the background at the opening face of Samantha Graves. You could lay a ruler across that bottom scarf. Very clean cutting. That's what we love to see. That's what we got to get to across the board. That's an efficient cut. No, it wasn't enough to reel in our reigning champ, Martha King, but it was almost enough to reel in our champ, Martha King. Martha finishing this block clear, near then far, driving off very cleanly.
Well, Martha King's official time, 48 seconds even. She finishes up in 5th place in the standing block chop for Samantha Graves, a time of 53.36, 8th place overall. So, with a new world record, our 2018 champion Erin Lavoie takes the standing block chop. So some great action coming up here. Absolutely, and a great race on right now. Erin Lavoie and Martha King, the 2 most recent winners of this U.S. Women's Championship, are 1 and 2.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Not everyone can say that, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Here comes our second sawing event. It's the single buck. Take a look.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around €1,500. single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
First heat of the women's single buck, Jessica Carricker and Kate Page. And they are bringing out these single buck saws. They're around 6 feet to 6'4". They get 1 minute to put a 10-inch starter cut in. Each one of these saws at least $3,000. You're looking at $6,000 worth of saws up here on stage right now. They're going to be looking to sever these 46 centimeter logs right around 16 inches.
Two competitors from the western part of these here United States going at it. Jessica Carricker, excuse me, and Kate Page.
Well, Tommy, the scene on stand number 2 kind of reminds me of the global community, if you will, of these timber sports athletes. You see getting some help there. Kate Page is getting some help from Arden Koger Jr. So we're blending gender, age, and sides of the country.
Yes.
But the unifying factor is timber sports.
Ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Jessica getting a great start into the top of the log. Now she's got to stretch it out and get the nose of that saw back into the block. Kate Page is putting on a clinic herself, though, running that saw very well. She's got some real estate to pick up on both ends of that saw, though, as well. This is going to be a very close heat, but it's going to be Kate Page. Oh, no, trouble for Kate Page.
There, she gets it?
I think she got it all.
Oh.
There is a small section of wood over on the carpet, and our head judge is going to go over and pick that up and check it out. Maybe a couple of pieces. The key here is complete cut. Did she run the saw through the full diameter of that block? There may be a little step there, might be an odd piece, but did she make a complete cut?
Well, he's going to try to piece the disc back together, part of the process there. Let's see what the official verdict is.
Everybody's watching that yellow bit of fabric hanging out of Rich's pocket right now, hoping it stays in Rich's pocket, and it does.
No laundry visible.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
You know, you seem to be calm, and we had a conversation at lunch. I said, you're a wildland firefighter. How do you stay calm in such crazy atmospheres of fighting fires? And you said, Dave, somehow I just professionally stay calm. I have to learn to do that on the stage. But you handled that instance well with a broken disc.
Well, it's kind of different because when you're on fires, it's a calm of like, I got to keep my composure. Here, I get a little hot-headed sometimes. But what happened at the bottom of that cookie is I lifted to go to push it off, and I hung up and my saw bent and popped the cookie off. But thank goodness that where my arm was, I could push my forearm into the saw to keep it up, and then I could finish my cut. So I got lucky on that finish.
Stay safe out there. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll go back and have a look at the finish. Here we pick up with Kate Page about halfway through that block. And you'll see down here at the bottom what she's talking about. You're getting into the small timber. That saw is only on 3 or 4 inches of wood. She reared back to shove off that last bit and just hung a raker on that far side. This will be a great perspective right here. It's a terrible sensation. The benefit or the good fortune was that saw stayed up on the block. She didn't have to pick it back up and try to reset it. She kept it together, got the bottom of that cut off right there, and is going to get full credit, full time.
Well, a scary moment with a good outcome for Kate Page, an official time of 21.30. Jessica Carricker, official time 24.90.
Second heat of the single buck, Amber Ald and Samantha Graves.
And Amber Auld, landscape artist from Lewisburg, West Virginia. Samantha Graves works in the tree service industry. Great state of New York, big state for timber sports, second in the Northeast qualifier. Time to beat a 21:30 by Kate Page in Heat 1. This is Heat number 2 of our third discipline of the day.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Amber in the near ground, very quick on the go. She's not wasting any time with a great full start. Samantha Graves also looking like she's got a great cut going. I'd love to see that entire saw engage. You pay a lot of money for these tools. You want to use every inch available. Virtually a dead heat, maybe a slight advantage to Amber Auld at the bottom. Samantha seems to be stalling there about the 2/3 mark, and Amber is not waiting around.
Samantha Graves just a few strokes behind.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
Well, it looked like you were both even for the first third of the log, then you just exploded in the lower half.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my pace up. I have a tendency to run out of gas on the bottom, and then I start just slow pulling, and I'm too short again to use the whole saw, so I got to do that Arden Koger fast and short stroke to get it, and so I just have to keep my pace up. So in the bottom of that, I just tried to go in the whole bottom to kind of not slow down.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Here's another look at Amber and Samantha side by side. Very different techniques. As Amber mentioned, she's definitely not running the whole saw. She is trying to sort of piston that saw down through the wood using a tremendous amount of power. Samantha Graves, I'm not sure what happened in that bottom half or bottom third of that log, but it was like progress just slowed. The pace is still there, the saw is still moving, but it's just not getting that saw to drop through the bottom part of that log.
Amber Auld moves into second place. Her official time, 22.13 for Samantha Graves, 25.91. She stands in fourth after 2 heats.
Next heat of the single buck, Emily Brown and Julie Miller. (21.30). Still holding strong by Kate Page. See if that time can fall. Look at these saws coming out. Polished up. They polished the plate. They polished the teeth. They polished the gullets that hold the wood. The rakers that clean out the wood. Give a little oil on the saw out back. Judges said, hey, we don't want the oil dripping on the stage. We want to lubricate them up, do it off the stage, which they've done. You can see these saws just shining. They're coming out of Australia. They're made in New Zealand. They're made in Tasmania, Canada, New York State. Waiting lists, only about 2 or 3 or 4 years to get one, so put your order in early.
An all Empire State matchup here from Pulaski, New York. Emily DeYoung Brown From Branch Point, New York, Julie Miller, both of these athletes with experience in these women's championships.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, right now in terms of overall points, Emily Brown sitting at 9th, Julie Miller at 11th. They are going to need to grab as many points as they can. Miller seems like she struggled there at the top third. That saw just stuffing up. Brown is not waiting around. We'll have to see if Miller can reel her back in. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, trouble at the bottom for Brown. She gets it gathered back up, showing a 20.27. I think she heard me talking, needing some steal points. I think she just got some steal points.
Unofficially your leader as it stands right now, Emily DeYoung Brown.
In that bottom few inches, so difficult, a slight bang, losing some time. And in my mind, that could be our unofficial new leader, Emily Brown on 1.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
They said that was great. You said you've been working on a slight mishap at the bottom, but you just crushed it before that. Tell us what you're working on.
I've always struggled with single buck, and I just tried to put a little more time into it so I could, you know, not look like a fool, I guess. But
how important is it to explode off the top of the log with confidence, especially when you're holding $3,000 worth of racing tool?
I'd say it's pretty important. I tried to get the weight on the top. I really didn't need a whole lot for that saw, though. So.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks.
There's a look at that hang up at the bottom for Emily Brown. Just a little bit of a hung raker, but it's Dave Jewett says it all the time. It's like riding a bike up a hill and hitting a pothole. It just kills your momentum. It stops you dead, and then to reaccumulate that energy just takes forever.
Emily DeYoung Brown under 20 seconds, officially 19.93, straight to the top of the single buck stats right now. Julie Miller's official time 23.80. She's in 4th.
Heat 4, the women's single buck, Alex Miller and Hannah Quigley. Grudge match coming up. A couple competitors trained together. Got to put a little bit of the friendship on hold going up here on the Timber Sports final stage. It's going to be a very close race. Quigley been doing some training up in Canada with one of the saw filers. We may get an interview with her after this, but we're going to let these competitors concentrate on this starter cut again. They're going to get 10-inch arc, and they will take every bit of it, take every advantage possible. Both competitors level. Look at the level of the saw. The old days, the saws were very steep. Modern day racing, they're saying we don't need that. We'll keep it level. Let the saw do the work. We'll bring the speed. We'll bring the power.
Well, 8 years competing for Hannah Quigley from Honeoye Falls in New York, the landscape artist.
Stand to
going
your
up against
timber.
Alex Miller. She's been competing for the better part of a decade.
1, go!
Very similar sawing styles for both of these competitors as they get off to a very flat start. You see Quigley now standing it up. Look at Quigley drawing the nose of that saw back in and all the way to the handle. Miller loading up the gullets of her saw in the bottom of that block. I think it's going to be advantage Quigley. There it is, but Miller about 3/4 of a stroke behind. Time's dropping well below that 20-second mark.
Again, a big rivalry between these two. They trained together, they came up with the sport together. So even at the half.
Big smile on the face of Hannah Quigley. She knows that's a good time. Great cut, great technique down through that block.
He's taking over these races. We'll see if we get a quick interview
right after the judge's decision.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Andy, you've come out at a great day so far. Great standing block, great stock saw. The single buck, you can make it or break it. You really went out of your way. You went up to Canada. You said, JP Mercier, you built my saw. Can you give me some coaching on how to run it? What did you learn in the last year?
Yeah, I think a lot of my focus last year was on the push and pull transition. This year it's fine-tuning exactly how those little intricacies at each end of the saw occur. So last year I was really light on the saw. This year I'm digging in. I want to cut wood. So cutting a lot faster, a lot more wood, focusing stroke by stroke, not on the full cut. It's just one at a time.
We're waiting patiently for your time unofficially in the lead. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, stroke by stroke, both of these competitors got it done. I harp on it all the time. It's a very expensive tool. I don't know what the cost per inch comes out to, but use all of it, and they both did exceptionally well. Quigley just did it a little bit better. I hate to say it, but I see a lot of Dave Jewett-esque cutting on stand number 2 in that form and function, and that goes back to that JP Mercier training and running those saws so often.
Good stuff. Quigley and Miller straight to the top. Hannah Quigley's official time, 18.27. Alex Miller, 19.21. With 1 heat remaining. Oh, excuse me, 2 heats remaining in the single buck.
Heat 5 of the single buck, Aaron Lavoie and Kate Witkowski. Lavoie on stand 1, our overall leader in steel points. And oh, is she good at sawing wood. Watch her cut this single buck. Kate Witkowski is also so accomplished. That 18.27 of Quigley in jeopardy. So many competitors watching closely. They're calculating these steel points with 1 event to go after the single buck. Every point on the line. Witkowski in the race. Lavoie looking to hold that lead, take her 2nd national title.
Aaron Lavoie on the strength of a world record effort in the standing block is our leader in steel points, overall points. That's what determines our final outcome and our champion here in the Steel Timber Sports 2022 Women's Championship for the United States, going up against Kate Witkowski. This should be a good one.
2 exceptional single saw operators, and Tommy, the best golfers in the world have the best caddies in the world. Look who's out on stage right now helping each of these competitors.
3, 2,
Aaron Lavoie on stand number 1 getting some help from Jason Lentz, our reigning Steel Timber Sports champion. Kate Witkowski getting guidance from Matt Coker, 6-time champion. Lavoie, I love what I'm seeing here. Great form. She got to get that handle a little bit closer to the block. Witkowski's got a lot of real estate between her and the block. Oh, trouble on stand number 1 for Aaron Lavoie as that cookie breaks away. She goes back and makes a swipe at it. And here's where we get into a bit of a judgment zone.
Okay.
We talked about broken cookies. Oh, and this is going to be tough here. Nate Waterfield dropping the flag. This is under review.
She kept the plate on the wood. She saw what happened to Kate Page.
So now here's what they're looking at, Tommy. They're going to be talking about, is that cuttable wood? And did she make every effort to cut that wood? We saw earlier when there was a broken cut where the competitor, it was Kate Page to be exact, Kate Page was able to keep the saw up there. The wood supported the saw, and she finished the cut. In this case, that wood would not support the saw, or I don't think it would support the saw, and she wasn't able to really reset it and take a look at and finish that cut.
Well, a lot on the line of this one. This could very much affect the outcome of this championship here.
Okay, after reviewing Aaron's cut to make sure it was a complete cut, we've determined that both cuts are good.
That's good news for Lavoie. Stick around. Lavoie, stick around. You can't break world records and just hustle off the stage. What happened there, especially, you got Jason Lentz wedging for you. He's one of the best in the world. You won your qualifier. You exploded off the top, trouble at the bottom.
I think that it's tough here when you don't have enough time to set your feet up where you want to do. Kate has a measurement. I don't have a measurement. I typically run the saw upside down, set that back leg, get spread out where I want, and I don't have the time here. So I think that I was just too upright, too close to the log, that I started kind of shaking towards the end. And then when I tried to correct it, I think I may have just jammed it and off it went. And then I wasn't sure. You're never sure if it's cuttable wood or not. And in a split-second decision, I decided I'd rather, I don't know, it's tough. Do you try or do you walk away and hope? I just tried to do what I could. It was uncuttable, and it cost me probably another second, but at least I didn't walk away and leave wood there. So
You broke the underhand record in Little Rock right here a year ago today. It's coming up. What's on your mind?
Last year they didn't count it because we had like a wrong timing system or something. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer. So it's not really in the books yet. This year I want it to be on the books.
Got it.
Yep. Thanks.
Let's go back and have a look at these two competitors. There's Erin Lavoie in the near ground, Kate Witkowski in the far ground, both of them with really solid cuts, but we want to talk about the bottom of Erin Lavoie's block. We saw Kate Page earlier. She was over on stand number 2. She broke the disc, and there was a definite cuttable piece of wood there. Erin Lavoie with this bobble at the bottom of the block, the cookie breaks, but there's not enough wood there to support the saw. She kind of goes back and makes a swipe at it, but it isn't going to stand there and hold the weight of the saw.
Well, there's your official times right there, and that one stands. That cut by the former champ Erin Lavoie, 17.27 puts her on top of the leaderboard. Kate Witkowski with 19.38. She is in 4th.
Sixth and final heat of the single buck. Let's bring them out. Martha King and Lindsay Down. Martha King has won this event on the final stage before. Lindsay Down coming in with the fastest time. And listen to this. Lindsay Down broke the record in her qualifying round at 12 seconds flat. Keep a close eye on Down, stand number 2. Look for the comeback from Martha King, needing those steel points.
Defending champion Martha King. She and 2018 champion Erin Lavoie were 1 and 2. Lavoie on top when we began this third discipline, the single buck. Now Erin Lavoie stands on top in this third discipline, the single buck, and boy, it's on Martha King now. She's got to put up a good time or face a very tough situation in the final discipline. Going up against Lindsay Down. Set a record in this event recently.
3, 2, 1, go!
Martha King definitely not happy with her standing block cut. She's got to put that behind her, though. She can't retaliate on the single buck. She's just got to make the best cut possible. Lindsay Down putting on a great run here. Watch for her to pull ahead through the bottom of the block, but King is not going to lay over or lay down and take this lightly. There it is. Lindsay Down, 16-2-9 on the board.
Lindsay Down is looking to keep the undefeated streak going. And Lindsay Down won the Mid-Atlantic qualifier, laid down an unbelievable 12 seconds. She took a year off from TimberSports.
What a statement from Lindsay Down over on stand number 2, coming in around 16 seconds, running away from the field.
The single buck, we're going to get a word with her in just a moment. But that 17-2-7 in jeopardy. Lindsay Down officially sub-17.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
We're waiting for a few seconds. We got the most scientific timing system nowadays, and we're getting it down to a thousandth of a second. You won let's get right to it. You won the Mid-Atlantic qualifier. You took a year off, and let's be honest, you said you weren't having much fun. There was a lot of pressure. Take a year off, revisit how you want to attack this sport, and you're just attacking it. Are you having fun this year in timber sports?
Well, I was having fun up until the standing block, and then I restarted having fun after the standing block. But this year, just in training, I've changed a couple little things, and single buck is my event. And after what happened in the standing, I was like, I got to do something. So I hope that was it.
We're waiting patiently. You still got one event to go. We're going to announce your time momentarily. Good luck. One event. Have some fun.
Thank you.
Well, Lindsay Down doing herself a whole lot of good. Here you go, Dave. Here's that official time you wanted. 15:94 for Lindsay Down. And you're looking at it again here on the big screen as we pick up about midway through this cut. Watch her just drive through the bottom of the block. You see that nose of that saw just disappear back in. I think that came off even sooner than she thought. She finished right at the tail end of a pole stroke, ready to rear back and shove it off. Didn't need the extra push.
Hey, kudos to Lindsay Down right to the top of the leaderboard. She wins the single buck official time of 15.94. And look at this, Martha King's time. Officially 16.96. She's in second place. And third place, Erin Lavoie, 17.27. Man, oh man. This battle at the top of our leaderboard and overall points, steel points, couldn't get much closer, and it's all going to come down to our final discipline of the day. The underhand chop is on the way, and it will decide everything. Don't go away.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power from gas to battery. STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Less work time, more you time. Count on STIHL to take you there. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Real STIHL. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
Hey, Tommy and Kevin, listen up. I got a great interview here. It's a gentleman named Ryan Callahan. Before the show today, Mark Boquin was up here doing a single buck, and I'm like, oh, who's this guy up here sawing with Mark Boquin? I've got him right here. You're going to have to tell me who you are. I know you're involved with the Meat Eaters podcast. And the guy said, I said, who's Ryan Callahan? They said, it's the guy that everybody knows. Everybody's shaking his hand. Tell me how you're involved. Tell me what you think about timber sports and your relationship with STIHL and conservation.
I'm the director of conservation with Meat Eater, And our relationship with STIHL has been a fantastic one. STIHL, as you know, is the leader in timber sports. And if you talk about conservation, you talk about active forest management, which is awesome for habitat, for wildlife, fire mitigation. And they've just been fantastic partners in conservation. They're currently working with me right now to open up a bunch of active access for hunting and angling around the country through private land, public access programs. And it's been phenomenal. I'm super happy to be down here. So I will tell you that sawing with Mark Boquin might be a little bit generous, but I'm going to get there. I'm improving. I'm learning a lot back there.
You did some stock sawing with Adam Lethko. Adam Lethko broke the world record in the hot saw yesterday. The best single bucker in the world is Mark Boquin. You saw to him. Let me ask you a personal question. Which one of those two guys would you rather have a beer with?
Oh, I don't want to get beat up back there. I know they're both tougher than me. I'll tell you that much. So they're great folks, and you know they're hunters and anglers. And I know when they get done with this season, they're going to be out there in the woods like I am, and I think that's really awesome. So,
and it is a tight community. I make these jokes, but Mark and Adam, we all hang out together. They all train together. Adam helps a lot of the bigger athletes learn how to swing an axe. And you asked me if I fish. I said, yeah, I go striped bass fishing. Have you done that? You said, I go spear fishing for striped bass. So you're more of like the Aquaman of timber sports.
Give me an excuse and I'm going to be there. I'll figure it out. And I will say, I've been blown away with timber sports. It's obviously an individual event out here. These people are intense. They're kind of primal about it. But behind the curtain, they're a big team sport. They're helping each other out. They're educating each other. It's really cool to see. It's a heck of a competition.
That's what you told me. The women out back are all encouraging each other. They're all helping each other out, giving each other advice. That was the first thing you noticed today in this women's final round.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just the women, it's the men. And they're competing, but they're pushing each other to be better, and it's a cool thing.
Thanks for coming out, Ryan.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thanks to Ryan, everyone at Meat Eater for pushing all that good stuff out there that makes our quality of life better for everyone who loves timber sports and fishing, camping, everything in the outdoors. Right now, let's reset the scene as we have one more discipline yet to go here. And there's our overall STIHL points and the story, as predicted by you, at least partially, Kevin, at the top, the two former champions, the two most recent champions. Aaron Lavoie, 2018 champion in 2019 and 2021. Martha King separated by a single point with the underhand on the way.
Final event of the day. This is the underhand chop. Take a look.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
First heat of the underhand chop. Let's bring them out. Jessica Carricker and Amber Ald.
Amber Ald from the great state of West Virginia, having a good day here, just out of the top 5. She can certainly improve that a lot with her final discipline of the day, the standing block chop. Jessica Carricker had a slow start, but steadily improving, just inching up, looking to maybe move up a couple of spots with a good underhand.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, that's Jessica on your left. There is Amber Ald on your right. Once again, we're looking for a smart disassembly of these blocks. You cannot just smash your way through an underhand. You have to clear your path with very careful planning. Watch when they get around to the backside of this log. Better view of our cameras. We'll talk a little bit about the hip pattern. Like on cue, there goes Amber Ald, very close to her foothold. That would be a disqualification, but I can see that there is clear wood there between her chop and her foothold. Watch there, she goes to the bottom of the block. Well, we're cutting back and forth here, but goes to the bottom of the block, back to the top, and works her way in a four-hit pattern around that block. Nice pile of chips there, getting a little bit stepped in. If the competitors step in too far, they end up dog-legged. Their two faces don't line up, and they end up driving into the stump instead of driving into fresh air on the other side. Both these competitors looking to drive, looking to finish. Jessica's breaking first. Amber is right there with her, though. Yeah, a lot of confusion. Not a clear finish for Jessica. She stepped back up, put one more hit in there. These blocks are fastened into the stand only at one end. The idea is that at the finish, you end up standing on your right foot. The right half of the block is locked in, and with your left foot, you push that block away. So we got to make sure that that block is severed and that it falls away clearly.
Flat areas that the competitors stand on, those flat areas, if they cut through those technically, it's less wood to cut, so that would also be a DQ for the judge's final decision.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
Amber, I know you're beating yourself up a little bit, but it's so tough. It's been a long day. It's a lot to expect out of yourself in that underhand chop. What did you feel went wrong? What can you change for next year?
Yeah, I've been really trying to practice on the breathing thing because I forget to breathe off the front and then I'm gassed on the back and then it all falls apart. And so that time I don't really know what happened in the front, but I guess it probably just the nerves and I stepped my drive line way in, so I tried to overcompensate for that on the back, but I just think too much on the block and it just falls apart. But I'm happy it came apart. So
thanks for being here. We'll see you again next year.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Well, here's that run from Amber Ald over into the backside of this log. She mentioned that she had stepped in a bit in the front, so she had a bit of a small face going in the front. You've got to have fresh air to drive to when you're on the backside and finishing the log. If not, you end up driving into the stump. You're just hitting into dead wood. You might even see the block split in half. There's that final fiber down at the bottom that she picked up, drove off, and was able to push the log away cleanly.
And there's your official time for Amber Ald, a time of 1.0349. Jessica Carricker, 1:05.48.
Number 2 of the underhand chop. Big round of applause for Kate Page and Julie Miller. .103, the time to beat. The window wide open to grab some steel points in this final heat.
Kate Page changed up her axe. You saw she's damaged her axe in that standing block chop. She's got a new one out. Got her handle chalked up.
Julie Miller, so much experience in these national championships.
And that top hair.
Looking to cut her final discipline of the day, the underhand chop.
Athletes ready.
Kate Page,
Stand
ready to go.
to your timber.
On stand 1.
3, 2, 1, go!
Neither one of these competitors having the day they had hoped for, 11th and 12th place respectively, but both very good underhand cutters. Now's the time to play the spoiler, Tommy.
Okay.
Get up there and grab a fistful of steel points. Insert yourself between the top 1 and 2 competitors and really mess up the point scheme.
That's
a little
fun,
bit.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great man. You know what? Reminds me of Harry Burnsworth. Hot saw Harry Burnsworth used to do that in the last discipline of the day. Speaking of which, look at this. Caitlin Page and Julie Miller both around in that mid-22nd round. Let's watch to see how they take these blocks apart. There's a little bit of frustration and energy coming out for Julie Miller. Tight grip on that axe handle, and she has one scoop away from her. Gets it gathered back up. Kate Page is going to drive there. I was just saying, wow, 1 or 2 more times. Kate Page is going to come off in the low 42nd range. Julie Miller's got by 2 more hits, and she'll be off as well. There's 2 more off for Julie Miller.
Julie Miller and Kate Page, great cuts. Kate officially with a 43.92, and Miller not far behind, recovering from that lance in the backside. Kate Page grabbing that new axe after damaging her initial axe in the standing block, and it's working.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
I know you had to switch up axes. You damaged that axe in the standing block, switched up for the underhand. Tell us the difference between the 2 axes. Did you feel much in that white pine log?
Yeah, I think this block went a lot better because I came out here like, well, you know, I'm not quite meeting my objectives today, so I'm just going to calm down and chop this like I know how. And my underhand axes are heavier than my standing block axes, so this one liked the wood a lot more.
Thanks for all your interviews today. Good job.
Let's go back and look at the backside of the logs for both these competitors. I love the disassembly I see from Kate Page. That axe did like that block, and she is presenting it well. Very clearly defined hits at the top and bottom. Left a little bit of wood hanging at the bottom. She's got to reach way down, pick up those last few fibers. The unofficial time, the official time coming in for Caitlin Page, 43:58.
And there you see the official times. Julie Miller's time officially 54.82. Page and Miller 1 and 2 in the underhand as it stands right now.
Heat 3, Samantha Graves and Emily Brown. Couple very, very tough underhand choppers on the stage now. Graves on your left, Brown on stand number 2 on your right. Chasing 43.58. A lot of these competitors will calculate. They know they can hit around 1 hit per second. They know at 43 seconds how many hits to put in the front, how many in the back to take over the lead and grab these final steel points.
Samantha Graves on stand 1, on stand 2. Emily Brown
Stand
chasing a time of
to your
53.58. 43.58.
2, 1,
by Kate
go!
Page.
Well, these two see a whole lot of each other in the Northeast region, just flush with competitions in that area, and they have gone head-to-head several times. Both exceptional underhand cutters. Samantha Graves, virtually my neighbor, and anytime we run into each other, the first question she asks me, hey, you got any white pine? She is just laser focused on timber spurts, laser focused specifically on cutting the right species of wood, and laser focused on cutting it well. She is doing it well here today. You see how high those high hits are coming in. Reaching down, that one could have gone lower. She's got the top wood done. She's cleaning out the middle now. She's got to get that bottom. Samantha Graves is there. She needs to get it driven off here very quickly. Time is ticking away. Emily Brown, though, might reel her in. A very clean cut. I don't know what's holding it together, but it is Emily Brown on stand number 2.
Bounce back. Step off the log, lost about 3
I've gotten the feeling there was trouble in the front side that we just couldn't see for Samantha Graves. Maybe didn't quite get the job done. The wing of wood can be so hard to get at the bottom of that front side of the log. Looking down from above, you feel like you've got the job done and you bail out of there too soon.
What a cut by both these athletes. Samantha Graves around and lead.
Emily Brown stepped off the log, had to regain her composure, focus, came back to win that heat.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
Well, you had a little trouble there on the transition. You stepped off the log. Tell us what happened.
I just got a little excited, I guess, turning around, you know. So after standing block, I kind of thought I should do a little more homework in the front, so I think it helped me out in the end.
So, you know, we use the word homework all the time. It really means cutting more than halfway. Is that what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to really make sure I got my bottom wood cleared out and so that it was a little easier on the front. So
Great comeback. Good job.
Well, here's another look at it. There is stand number 2. That is Emily Brown. There's that step off, just a double step off apparently, and that's where you get the nerves going. You're trying to get turned around to get the job done on the backside of the block. We talked about it in earlier competitions. That first hit, that opening hit on the second side of the block is so critical, and it's so hard to place because you're coming into that hit basically stepping off a tilt-a-whirl as you get into the backside of that log. She does get it gathered back up. I had Samantha Graves running away with that thing, but it was the bottom of the front side of that log for Samantha Graves. She did not get the job done. She took out a bit of a loan, as we say, on the front side of that log and had to pay it back on the second half.
Emily DeYoung-Brown winds up in second place with an official time 48.04. Samantha Graves 55.84. She is in fourth place.
Heat number 4, Lindsey Dawn and Alex Miller. Lindsey Dawn coming on strong in the underhand as of late. Alex Miller, you'd give on paper the advantage to Miller here. Miller hits so accurate in this underhand chop. It's been her power event, but Lindsey Dawn has just been finding this underhand chop and finding her talent in it lately. This could be a close race. Again, Kate Page holding the lead at 43.58.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Lindsey down, Alex Miller, both looking to grab as many steel points as they can in this final discipline. Dave Jewett said, on paper, Miller should have the advantage, but Lindsey Dawn has been coming in so strong in this underhand chop. The year off gave her time to focus, time to prepare. Miller around to the backside, got in 3 blows on that opening side, going to a 2-and-2 hit pattern. Look at that chip fall out of the backside of the block for Alex Miller. Great slope, great accuracy, clean cut, a clinic top, going to the bottom to drive. There it is, Alex Miller unofficially off, showing 37 seconds.
Lindsey Dawn only a few more hits, breaking the top. And there it is, Lindsey Dawn not far behind. That's got to be one of her fastest times. 46.5 for Lindsey Dawn. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
I get extra excited for Lindsey. She gets frustrated, but we've all been telling her, look, your underhand is so good. You got to start believing in yourself. But Alex Miller, the accuracy, just powered her way through that. What a beautiful cut.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
Alex, I know you're frustrated with your cut in the standing block, but you just made up for it in the underhand. So accurate. I'm hoping the camera zoomed in. It was just a beautiful cut. How did you feel? How was your day?
That was pretty. I'm happy with that one. Yeah, less than spectacular showing in the standing block, but think I powered through and came back strong.
Absolutely, and you know, you're going to be here every year. Your fan club, I love it when these guys show up. It makes my job easy. They're making the noise, so I don't have to. How you feeling going into next year? What are your goals?
You know, just really show up in all 4 events and be consistent.
All right. Now you can relax. Good job, Alex.
Thanks, Dave.
Alex Miller unofficially taking over the lead. And we're waiting right around 36 seconds.
Well, there's a look at that accuracy that Dave Jewett was talking about. You could put a straight edge across the driving blows on the backside of that block, clean through into fresh air on the top, took 2 hits in the bottom just to pick up a little bit of wood that was left on the bottom of the front side. What a great technical cut from Alex Miller.
And there she is, Alex Miller at the top of the leaderboard at 36.86, officially right there. And for Lindsey Dawn, who's had some magic moments today, a good effort, 46.09 has her in 3rd.
All right, watch closely. Here we go. Heat 5 of the underhand. Kate Witkowski and Erin Lavoie. Erin Lavoie on the right, holding a 1-point lead against the defending champion, Martha King. Erin Lavoie absolutely attacked this underhand last year, cutting the fastest time we've seen ever. We're looking to make it official this year. Nevertheless, the final event of the day for both these athletes. Kate Witkowski had one heck of a day. Now we just sit back and watch this race unfold.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A lot of attention on stand number 2, Erin Lavoie, former champion, but not our current reigning champion, currently 1 point ahead of Martha King, our reigning champion. Erin Lavoie, a very clean cutter, a very smart cutter. There's those first 2 opening blows. First 4 opening blows, draws a chip, but not a huge sheet of wood like I know Erin Lavoie would want to see. Kate Witkowski on stand number 1, attacking those corners sticking out there, and is drawing nice chips out of her block as well. But, oh, Erin Lavoie! I didn't even have time to turn my attention back to Erin Lavoie, coming off right around 31 seconds.
Kate Page right behind Lavoie. And remember, even though Kate Page did not win that heat, she can create
A points gap between Lavoie and other competitors. So much on the line. Kevin and Tommy, I hope you guys are calculating what's going on over there. Remember, 1 point, but Kate Page, not only did she didn't win that heat, but you know what her points can do. We're going to get an interview with one of these competitors momentarily.
Nice job. Both cuts are good.
She's holding the lead, and she's giving me a hard time that I didn't give her enough interviews last year. You were a little grumpy last year, I know, but you're holding a 1 point lead. You've had a heck of a day. You broke the record in the standing block, right around 30 seconds in the underhand. Talk to me.
Damn it. It's not good enough. You know, I hung that saw, and that cost me 2 places, which kind of sucks. Going into this, I wished that I would have been in the heat with Martha. It's just fun going head-to-head with her. And now I got to sit back and, you know, watch that slowest moving clock ever, waiting for her to pass the 32-second mark, throw my hands in the air, grab a beer, and just thank everybody for being around for me.
All right, I'll join you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
One more round of applause for Erin Lavoie. She's had a great day.
Well, when she goes back and puts her feet up to watch the round with Martha King in it, let's watch the round that just happened with Erin Lavoie in it. See that black line over by her right foot? That's her target for the turn. She wants to put the heel of that axe just below that line or right on that line with her second hit just above that line. Again, we talked about how it can get really turned around when you are making that turn from front to back. Very clean finish, drove a tremendous amount of wood. good. That hit right there went in a little bit too straight, wasn't as productive as she wanted it to be. Goes back, picks it up. That one shifted some timber. You saw the block move. One right at the bottom to pick up those last few fibers. Erin Lavoie officially off in a 31-45.
As expected, a tremendous effort from Erin Lavoie and Alex Miller. Good job as well, landing in third place, grabbing a bunch of points there with official time of 36.86.
Final heat of the underhand, Hannah Quigley and Martha King, our top 2 underhand qualifiers. Hold on to your hats. 1 point on the line, 31-45. Lavoie's time.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, in an ideal world for Martha King, Quigley would beat Lavoie and King would beat Quigley. That would put her right in top. We might see a points tie. We might see Erin Lavoie be crowned our new champion. Right now, Martha King doesn't care about anything other than cutting this block as quickly and as efficiently as possible. She's around at that like 16-second mark. She's got a lot of wood left at the bottom. I think she's already looking to drive it. I think that's premature and she's gonna maybe regret it. Maybe not. Here it is. Drives off right at that magic 32-second mark. I'm gonna zip it because I'm not gonna try to jinx anything.
No.
We've got to see if our judges give her a clean cut. We got to see what the official time is, and then we got to talk about the potential of a points tie here.
So much of this modern-day timing system, we're going to need
All depends on the official time here. The bottom line, very simple. She's got to be 31-45 when it's all said and done, or Erin Lavoie repeats as champion from 2018.
She came off before then. The time will be lowered. 31-45, the time to beat. We can only wait.
Nice job, ladies. Both cuts are good.
Martha, you got an unbelievable chopping technique, a chopping technique that a lot of women competitors study now. They'll be studying years from now. You had some sticks in the backside. You tend to lose that momentum. How do you keep yourself focused on the job?
Oh man, it's tough sometimes because then you get in your own head and you self-condemn sometimes. So gotta just focus on ripping it back out and putting the pace back to it.
I always say the best cut you can make is when you cut yourself some slack, because there really is so much on the line. You tend to put a lot of pressure on yourself, but you had a great day. We got to wait for your time. Nevertheless, such a close race between you and Erin. What's it like racing against Erin Lavoie?
You know, she's been in the sport for a long time and she makes it very challenging, but I love a good challenge.
We're going to see you on the podium pretty soon. Stick around. They got one more big round of applause for Martha King.
Well, let's look at this run from Martha King as she walks off stage, and we keep tabulating points and make sure we get this all squared away. There's those first 4 opening blows on the backside of the log, shifted a tremendous amount of timber. I think she gets a little greedy here, a little aggressive. She's going for that win, going for that drive, and burying that axe right in the right spot, but just so far away from the middle of that log. I think just a little more timber needed to get cleared out of there before she could really get in there and drive effectively. What a great drive side, though. Her right, our left, as we're looking at it. Again, you could put a straight edge down the face of that block.
Well, there's your official time for Martha King, 33.32. Right there. Hannah Quigley with a 42.07. As Kevin said, we're going to check and recheck all the figures, tabulate and retabulate, and we will have the podium for you as we wrap up our competition, the STIHL Timbersports U.S. Women's Championship 2022.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Big league performance in your backyard with battery power made by STIHL. Our AK home motor system starts at just $199.99. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
All right, let's bring them out. We're going to bring out our top 3 athletes in the women's division. Taking third place, the bronze medal, only her second year. Okay, we're just about to. I get a lot of talk in my ear from the production truck. They tell me what to do and I do it. But the athletes are just going to get ready. And as soon as they are staged, we're going to bring them out on stage. Oh, we have them. Oh, we have them. Okay, let's do it. Her second year in timber sports and already taking the bronze medal. Let's give it up for Hannah Quigley. From Honeoye Falls, New York. She started at Syracuse ESF on the Woodsman's team. She thought, I want to do timber sports, only her second year in. She didn't even qualify 2 years ago, and now she's on the podium. One more big round of applause, Hannah Quigley. And taking the silver medal, our 2-time timber sports champion, Martha King. Martha King from Chadds Pennsylvania. She has traveled the world, become one of the best choppers in the world, and she will be coming back next year fighting for that 3rd title. And it took 3 years to get her 2nd national title from Spokane, Washington, Erin Lavoie. Erin Lavoie coming out with that standing block, winning the standing block, winning the underhand, winning her 2nd national title. Big round of applause for all of our athletes one more time. Give it up for Erin Lavoie, Martha King, and Hannah Quigley. Great job, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Well, 2-2 in terms of championships between these two great, epic competitors, really, in women's timber sports. Erin Lavoie with her second championship, tying Martha King with 2. Obviously, the 2 towering figures in this sport where we saw a lot of talent on display today.
Yeah, just an epic display of talent, as you put it, Tommy. We kind of expected these 2 to square off throughout the day, and they did exactly that. Great effort at the end with Erin Lavoie coming back with that underhand and just edging out Martha King. I got to tip my hat to Hannah Quigley as well. She is a relative infant in this sport, and to see her standing on that podium with 2 legends by her side, what a tremendous accomplishment for her as well. I can't be more proud and more excited for the future of women's timber sports competition.
Yeah, Hannah Quigley on a trajectory that could get her to the top of that podium sooner rather than later. So much excitement through the course of the day. Erin Lavoie, number 1. Martha King finishes second place here. Hannah Quigley in third. Kate Wiskowski, good day for her, coming in 4th place. Alex Miller in 5th. Emily DeYoung-Brown in 6th place. Lindsay Dawn, Amber Auld, Samantha Gray, Kate Page, Julie Miller, and Jessica Carragher. What a great dozen performers who qualified at our 4 regional qualifiers, coming from all parts of these United States to make a tremendous final effort, a national championship. And the second one for Erin Lavoie. We have certainly enjoyed watching all of these tremendous performances today. And of course, we expect to be just on a trajectory of improvement for these women athletes. I mean, it's just been phenomenal how they have improved and gotten so much better. Their work ethic is off the charts. Everything is inspirational. The STIHL Timber Sports Women's U.S. Championship. Thank you for being with us for it today. And if you're going to stay with us, coming up here, we have got the finals for the men not too far away.